Well, look at that.
What the hell is this?
I'm Carl.
Who are you? Really?
Really?
I am the guardian of forever.
F*** this show.
You want to be in a galaxy where Star Trek isn't lame. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
Hey guys, Michael J. Crawford, the Anti-Trekker here. And I just finished watching Star Trek Discovery Season 3, Episode 10, Terra Firma, Part 2. I don't even know what to say about this episode. The writing is horrible. The plot is predictable. The big reveal of who Carl is about as shocking as John Harrison was for Star Trek Into Darkness. It's just crap. So, let me get this out of the way. I'm not going to do a detailed breakdown of the plot. Suffice to say that many of the fan theories were true. Carl is the guardian of forever. Georgiou does end up going back in time. They don't specify exactly when, but most people are guessing back to the 23rd century, probably so that she can star in her rumored Section 31 show. And this whole two-parter was just an excuse to get Michelle Yeoh out of the show so that they could free her up for doing the Section 31 series. Further, the episode craps all over more Star Trek lore. It's amazing that they moved the show into the 32nd century to avoid continuity issues, and they create even more continuity issues, but hey, that's par for the course at this point. And I was trying to work out a good way to illustrate just how bad this episode is by showing cringeworthy dialogue, by showing, some of the just how stupid the plot goes and stuff like that. But you know what? I realized that I don't really need to do a whole lot here. All I got to do is talk about the opening credits. Yes, the opening credits. Why? Because many years ago, when Star Trek was still good, there was a series called Star Trek Enterprise. And when Star Trek Enterprise was almost at the end of its run, they did their one and only entry into the Mirror Universe canon, In a Mirror Darkly Parts 1 and 2. And they did something unique with that episode. The producers of the show wanted you to feel like this was Star Trek in the Mirror Universe. And so they redid the normally inspiring song that they play at the beginning of Enterprise.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
With a dark, melodic image of weapons of mass destruction and military might. It was actually quite genius. The way they put the credits together gave a great juxtaposition between what we were used to
I'm alive at last. I will touch the sky.
And what we were in for. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Now, was the episode flawless? No, but it was among my favorite episodes of Enterprise for sure. Now, fast forward to last night's or this morning's episode. They wanted to do something even more clever, right? However, and this is exactly the problem. It's like you have with these people that are producing Star Trek Discovery, you have a virtually unlimited budget. You have enough money to do almost anything you could imagine. Yes, even if the budget has been reduced a little bit, even if the budget was cut in half, you have plenty of resources to do cool things. And what they decided to do was that they, like the producers of Enterprise, were going to do a switch up of the credits. So what did they do? They play the exact same theme song with no alterations whatsoever. They show the exact same credits without any alteration whatsoever, except that they inverse the image so that it's a negative, and they flip it upside down for some reason. I mean, with all the creative people you have behind this series, with your 20-odd producers of this show, with your incredible staff of writers, with your incredible staff of visual effects technicians, the best you could come up with was, flip it upside down and invert it. Seriously? That's it? That's your great statement about how this mirror universe is messed up and all that? No. You didn't just... Why... Enterprise was not a big budget show. I mean, yeah, it was bigger budget than, say, a typical sitcom back then, but it was not like this extravagant show. And yet they managed to come up with their own unique credits just for that episode. You couldn't bother with that? Really? Okay. Whatever. So this episode, needless to say, is a complete travesty. It craps all over the lore of the Guardian of Forever. It craps all over the lore of the Mirror Universe. It craps all over the lore of Star Trek in general, even more than it already has. So that's par for the course, right? That's just Discovery. Needless to say, this episode is just another steaming pile of crap in a season that I was really hoping was going to be a turnaround for this series. And yet, while watching the horror of this episode unfold in front of me, I did actually think about the one thing that gives me hope in all this, and it has nothing to do with anything I saw on screen during this episode. It has to do with some of the reactions from the nerd community. Not to this particular episode or even to Star Trek Discovery specifically, but to the overall destruction of some of the greatest franchises in television and cinematic history. We've seen it with Star Wars, we've seen it with Star Trek, we've seen it with Doctor Who, we've seen it with a myriad of different franchises that we see these attempts to, for reasons truly inexplicable to me, to not just, I mean, it's one thing if you want to say, okay, we're going to put a little bit of a political message in here, whatever, you know, that doesn't bother me in and of itself as long as the story you're telling is good, the acting is good and all that. But they're actually just making it so that it's just a message with a coat of paint that looks something vaguely like whatever franchise we're talking about. And this, calling this Star Trek, is using a very, very fast and loose use of that term. So the only reason I'm willing to call it Star Trek is A, it's in the title, and B, you know, CBS owns the rights to Star Trek right now. But aside from that, this does not feel like Star Trek at all. So what am I talking about? What's this glimmer of hope I'm seeing? Well, when I talk about the reaction from the fans, I'm not talking about the anger, the indignation, the rage. That's been around for years. Heck, that's part of what started this channel. There's an entire segment of the internet now called the Fandom Menace that is all about the anger and the rage. Not that I disagree with the anger and the rage, mind you. It's just that in and of itself is not productive. It's just complaining. It's just loud noise. No, I'm talking about something better. I'm talking about something that I hope will be the first of many. A good friend of mine, and a friend of this channel, Dr. Alex Leeds, is a cosmologist who lives in England. And he is a huge fan of Doctor Who, and like many fans or Whovians, he found the latest season of Doctor Who to be quite frankly insulting. And like many fans, he was angry about it. One more franchise being just raked over the coals, one more franchise being ruined. But he decided to focus his anger and his rage in a way unique. So instead of simply launching about it like so many of the rest of us have been doing about Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, all this stuff, he decided to fix it. And so he actually wrote a book. Not just a short story or a description of what's wrong with Doctor Who, but a 251-page book that rewrites the entire season of Doctor Who, but in his mind, correcting it. The book is called The Doctor Reads the Doctor by the Doctor, Season 12. And it's got the subtitle, The Parody of a Once Beloved TV Show. And it is a parody if you consider what the show has become, which is kind of sad. Just as if somebody wrote a genuine Star Trek book today, it would be a parody of Star Trek. Kind of gets you thinking. So first of all, my intent was to get a full-on book review of The Doctor Reads the Doctor by the Doctor done before this weekend, if possible, because I want people to be able to order it for Christmas, and I wanted my honest opinion out there. I haven't had a chance to read the whole thing yet, so I will surmise by simply saying this. It is way better than the last season of Doctor Who. So if you want a good Doctor Who story and you want to support the actions of fans of these franchises actually trying to make the franchise great, actually trying to rekindle the fire that got us all excited about these franchises in the first place, I implore you, go to Amazon right now, go get The Doctor Reads the Doctor by the Doctor. Do not get the Kindle version, please. Get the paperback edition, and the reason I say that is because if you get the Kindle edition, then Dr. Alex Leeds does not get a significant residual, where he does if you buy the book. And support this. And when we see good Star Trek, whether it be fan films or fanfic, if it's good, support it. Let's show the studios that not only are we angry when crap is thrown at us and we're told that it's prime rib, but that we're willing to make our own prime rib if they're just going to give us crap. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm freaking done with this garbage. And I'm seriously thinking about simply attempting to, I'm thinking about starting a whole new series of videos just rewriting all of Discovery, to rewrite and dramatically retell these stories as if they were in the Star Trek universe. And I'm curious to see if you guys would be interested in that. It would take a lot of work, but I think it would be worthwhile. Showing that you can use the same major plot points and make it work if you just made the characters more in line with what we've seen in Star Trek, and you made the general attitude of the show more like Star Trek. I think that that's doable, because what we've gotten these last 3 seasons from Star Trek Discovery is an absolute insult. And I hope and I pray that Strange New Worlds is better. But they kept saying that Discovery was going to get better. They kept saying they were listening to us. And they kept proving that they don't give a crap about us. Take care.
You want to be in a galaxy where Star Trek isn't lame. You want to go where everybody knows your name.